Hello, and welcome to Morris Park. As you can see today, there's not a lot going outside here in the way of cactus and succulents or plants, because we've had quite a snow in the last couple of days. Snow and ice for that matter. But inside I got a couple things I'd like to show you, one in particular. And so let's go into the greenhouse. Today, since everything outside is kind of frosty cold and there's nothing really going on outside for sure, greenhouse is a little slow too. Everything's kind of asleep right now, but just recently I got this agave lophantha quadricolor. Pretty cool plant. It was one of those plants that was kind of shoved under the rack at the end of the season, doomed to die. I happened to notice it and had to bring it home. But as you can see, it has no top dressing or anything like that. Mainly just see perlite and soil, which is just fine if you keep it like this. It's not going to hurt the plant at all, and of course these agaves are pretty tough. They take about anything. But I kind of like to dress my plants up. Now when I talk about dressing plants up, I'm not talking about putting little Santa hats or painting them or pinning things to them, gluing things to them, or any of that horrible garbage that is done in the stores or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about dressing them up. What I'm talking about dressing them up is just making like a mini landscape around them, something a little more natural, and maybe some curiosity stuff. First of all is actually the top dressing. And for top dressing, I kind of picked out these little stones I purchased at the local store. You can get these at the garden centers and sometimes places like Walmart craft departments and stuff like that. And they work pretty well. So I'm going to take some of these stones. I'll kind of even these out. You can see it's already starting to give it some color. And helps make the colors of the plant kind of pop, you know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of color in there. There we go. Get that little guy out of there. Turn it around. See, I've got a few little babies coming up there. That's pretty neat. More for my money, so to speak, when I bought it. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of pack them in there a little bit. Now that looks pretty good. Now you've got a good top dressing on it. What the top dressing will actually help do is to keep soil from washing away from the roots, the perlite from floating to the top. You know, if you just leave it and the way the soil is, the perlite has a tendency to wash to the top if it's from a commercial soil, as this one has. Now agaves, they're not really picky about a lot of soils. I've noticed they're pretty tough. They'll take about anything. I don't give my agaves any special tender treatment or anything like that because they take a lot. But anyhow, now that we've got the top dressing on, it looks pretty nice. We have a number of things we can use along with our little mini landscape. You can choose crystals, which those look pretty neat. I notice some people like to use crystals. One of my favorites, fossils. Trilobites in particular. I'm kind of a trilobite nut. I like the trilobites. But you can use those. Also around the Ozarks, we got some pretty cool rocks. I like to call them moon rocks. Of course, they're not that. But they're a type of limestone, and it looks like they've undergone some kind of volcanic action in their time. Oftentimes in these little holes, you'll see crystals and so forth. A little coating of crystals. Looks kind of like sugar on the inside. But they come in all sizes and shapes. I've found very huge ones we use out in the park for landscaping, down to these little bitty ones, as you can see. Pretty cool. And you can kind of place these things around in here like this. Give it kind of a rocky look. Also, you can do something with something else we have here, and that's arrowheads. Arrowheads are found pretty frequently here in the Ozarks and farm fields and in front of caves and so forth. In my younger years, I used to spend a lot of time walking farm fields and picking these up. Native American history is thousands of years old here in the Ozarks, and you will often find these remnants of that past time in these farm fields. Most of the ones you see, they'll be broken because the plow and so forth has run across them and broken them. If you're lucky enough, you might find something a little nicer. And put that right there. And have something a little nicer there for your mini landscape. There you go. But anyhow, that's what I wanted to show you today. It's just how to dress up your plant a little bit without sticking something stupid on it, like a glued-on hat or a fake flower, because these plants don't need the fake stuff. And these things are quite fine because they won't harm the plants either. This is a few other examples here. These are many broken arrowheads I've found in the fields. And I have in them with my nice big Cephalocereus senilis. Use them. I also use some crystals and so forth in some of mine. Other examples of arrowheads, crystals, trilobites. And with my euphorbias. So yeah, I like to kind of dress my plants up a little bit. And look at this one. I will not quit. Mammillaria hahniana. It is blooming in the middle of December. Can you believe that, folks? Funny things happening in the greenhouse here at Morris Park. Anyhow, that's all for today. This is Clyde Morris from Morris Park. Wishing you a wonderful day and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.